Small towns are now seeing sticker shock from our recent below freezing temperatures. 13's Kimberly Donahue spoke with a city official in Denison about the weather's financial impact on them. And Kim, they say it could actually make the city go under.
That's right, Melissa. The city of Denison is used to paying between $4,000 and $6,000 a month for gas, and those costs are passed on to the customers in their monthly gas bills. But a weekend's worth of use could mean devastating effects for any party who needs to fit the bill. When the town of Denison, population 180, faced below zero temperatures a few weeks ago, the people who live here did what they had to do to stay warm. But Denison's demand showed up in the daily price per heating unit from February 12th to the 16th, 4 very cold days. Normally, the city pays about $3 per heat unit, but during that period, it jumped to over $300 a unit. Then, the unit price doubled to more than $600.
When I first heard it, I thought, well, that can't be right. We didn't have an option. We had to have gas, and our people needed to keep warm. Their homes needed to keep warm, and it was kind of out of our hands.
The city's gas purchaser, KGMA, says they buy gas for each day the morning ahead, but they don't find out the price until the time the markets close.
This was a perfect storm event. It was on a Friday where we had to purchase for a minimum of 3 days. The Monday was President's Day. So we ended up purchasing for 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because the markets weren't open Monday.
The city doesn't want its customers to pay bills up to 1,000 times more than what they're used to.
I don't know anyone in town that they could just pay it. Just having your gas bill doubled would be ugly, but we're talking something that people won't be able to sustain.
But someone will have to cover the cost of the bill, and the consequences could be dire for the city.
We won't have anyone to fix the streets. We won't have anyone to be available to turn your water off if you're working on your water line. All those things will be gone.
The city told me they got their quote for the month of February late this afternoon. The estimate for the month of February is $241,400. Denison spent just under $125,000 for gas in the entirety of 2020. So what's next? They told me what can save the city now is a loan through KGMA, and they've contacted the governor's office and Kansas's Washington delegation for help.
We've already reported to you that a lot of these people are already shocked, and now a lot of them could be socked with high gas bills coming up next month.
We first told you last night about how the small town of Denison is facing a cost that surpasses its total annual budget. Well, tonight, 13's Kimberly Donahue heads back to Denison to find out what it could mean for the people who live there. Kim?
Melissa, Ralph, any massive changes to gas bills could mean some long-term sacrifices for people in Denison, but some agencies are fighting to alleviate a bit of the financial burden. Some Denison residents aren't sure what a gas bill beyond their normal price will mean for them.
Possibly need assistance with this. That's the only way that it can be done. With that much of an increase, there's no feasible way that a normal household person could manage that kind of a bill.
The city is facing a February gas bill estimated at more than $240,000. Those costs could be passed on to residents.
With all the gas prices all over the place going up, I don't know what we can do. I mean, we needed the heat when we were all going through that Arctic blast.
Caleb Allen and his family recently moved to town, and they're already making sacrifices.
It's going to be a bit colder in the house, so we've already turned the heat down. I think roughly 10 degrees. It'll probably drop even more once we get the bill.
The League of Kansas Municipalities is looking to help lessen the financial stress on Denison, its residents, and 48 other cities in the same situation. They've contacted the Kansas federal delegation, as well as looking to state legislative opportunities for relief or help spreading out payments.
We know, particularly in a pandemic period, is super critical to not have yet another unwanted surprise as folks have faced just a very difficult year.
People in Denison say any help could warm their frosty financial future.
No one wants to pay 1,000 times just to keep their toes warm and live comfortably in their own house.
Denison city officials told me they spent the day compiling paperwork for the Attorney General as he starts his investigation into price gouging for natural gas during those cold times. And depending on those results of the investigation, some more help could be on the way.
We will continue to follow that, Kim. And also Governor Laura Kelly said today that she is working with the state's federal delegation as well as utilities and local leaders as well to find out if there's any resources available to help folks cope with this.
Relief will soon be on the way for cities and towns facing financial ruin over utility bills from the cold snap, the Arctic air we had in February. 13's Kimberly Donahue was the first to bring you this story and reporting from towns like Denison, facing a bill surpassing their whole budget for the entire year. Today, Kansas lawmakers moved quickly on legislation to help towns like Denison. Kim is live at the Capitol. What will this plan do?
Yeah, Ralph, this bill was just introduced Monday and made it through both chambers today on emergency action. It provides financial help to over 170 cities across the state who face either going under or making their residents pay soaring costs.
Our priority is to make sure that Kansans, no matter where they live, are not hit with unfair utility bills.
House Speaker Pro Tem Blaine Finch's hometown of Ottawa is facing an electric bill $1.2 million higher than usual. He helped create a bill allowing Ottawa and more than 170 other cities to apply for a low-interest loan from the state to help pay their electric or natural gas bills.
I think that what we try to do in Kansas is preserve our rural way of life and preserve our smaller cities. And if we don't do this, it's going to be increasingly hard for those cities to exist.
The plan uses $100 million in state EIDL funds. Cities could pay back the loans over 10 years, something advocates say would ease the burden.
This will literally make a difference in whether or not they can pay their bills to continue to have electric and gas versus having to pass those costs immediately onto their residents who are already struggling post-pandemic and don't have the money and can't afford those kind of astronomical price increases.
The effort has bipartisan support.
We're looking at helping out the cities so they can pay their bills, and it's just good for everybody. It's a win-win all the way around.
And with cities' utility bills due next week, lobbyists say timing is a priority.
This is a piece of legislation that truly will be beneficial to all Kansans in the coming days. So it's a very real issue, and they can bring much needed relief.
And now some help is one step closer. With passage from both chambers, the bill now heads to Governor Laura Kelly's desk, and she says she plans to sign it, Ralph.
Kim, thank you also for your coverage from Denison. Thanks for your live coverage from the Capitol again tonight. Melissa?